Let's take a look at our top selections for Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Let's kick off a 50-cent pick four at Keeneland on Saturday with race number 8, the Grade 1 First Lady going 1 mile on the turf. Let's take a peek at this field. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Chad Brown has the 4, the Speedy newspaper of record. And he has the 5, Uni, who likes to come from off the pace, as she did when she won this race last year. Beau Recall looms a potential minor upsetter for the very dangerous Brad Cox barn. It's a fun field. It's a shame it's only 6 horses.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some real quality in here. I guess the real question of this race, Dan, is, what are you going to get from some of these horses? Because I think there is some questionable form going on for some horses who, at one time or another were very good. Some questionable form outside of Beau Recall, who comes off a big win. The rest of these horses have some questions surrounding them right now.
I think it's a very, very fair point, especially considering the 2 Chad train runners. Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector. No surprise here. We're expecting the 4 newspaper of record to go right out to the front and set the pace. That's her best game. That's what she did when she was such a sensational 2-year-old. She didn't have a great 3-year-old campaign. It looked like from her first 2 starts at 4 that she was back in business. And then she just got ran down last time out by Beau Recall in what I think a lot of folks have to consider somewhat of a disappointing effort at odds on.
Yeah, it was a disappointing effort. She got the trip that she wanted in there, basically loose on the lead. She did not have to go that fast, clear down past the 8th pole, and she didn't finish it. I thought all in all, a very disappointing loss and one that she had no excuse for. We'll see if she can rebound. She will be on the lead again.
But I want to take nothing away from Beau Recall, who's banked $1.4 million. Brad Cox has put her in some good spots. And last time out in that Distaff Turf Mile, she saved ground girl early. She got into the clear, turning into the stretch. She was really firing on all cylinders late. She earned that win, 99 by her. Something tells me she's in peak form. You don't have to worry about the form she's in right now.
No, she's in really good form. And, I guess, she's going to be towards the back of this pack early again, but that wasn't a problem for her last time. And it's not like she had a huge pace to close into. And she ran right by newspaper of record. I realized that a lot of that stuff, Dan, just sort of based on what's going on with some of the other horses, maybe it makes her the horse to beat in some ways this time. But do you really want her at 2-1 in this race? She was 8-1 when she won last time. When she won that same race the year before, she was 10-1. I don't know. I won't be surprised when she wins this race, but I'm not going to run to the windows to bet her at $6.
Let's watch Dalika's last race at Kentucky Downs, the One Dreamer. She goes out for trainer Al Stahl. She's been in pretty decent form. This was the first time they'd stretched her back out in a while, and she showed good speed. She's very comfortable right now on the lead as they're at about the furlong and a half pole in this long stretch, and she just keeps right on trucking. This is a restricted stakes race. She's taking on much better horses. The good news is she's much more capable, in my opinion, from off of the pace, and that's where she's going to have to be with newspaper of record in here.
Right. I mean, we will see what kind of trip she gets, I guess. When they concentrated on sprinting her earlier this year off the layoff, she looked like a pretty good closing sprinter. But when they go long with her, as they did last time and as they were doing last year, she was more of a forward pace presence in her longer races. And I don't know how that's going to work out for her in here. At the best, she's going to have to chase newspaper of record in here. That might not be that easy for her. If you like her, she's going to be a great price. I'm not going to try and not talk you off her. I just wonder if she's good enough.
Daddy is a Legend is a horse that when George Weaver trained her would often have just tough trips. And you would always wonder, what if she gets a clean trip? And then when she got a clean trip, she'd face horses like Got Stormy or Rushing Fall that were just in absolutely raging form and were simply better than Daddy is a Legend. I was really looking forward to seeing what we would get from her this year, and she just not been very good. Sometimes these fillies and mares just don't come back, and it appears that Daddy is a Legend hasn't come back to her form of 4 and 3.
It certainly does look like that. I mean, I wanted to give her a pass for the Ellis Park race because it was just such a soft turf course. She was wide, and they just, once she wasn't going to run, they just sort of let her fall away in there, and she just, finished far back in that field. But she really didn't run that well last time, Dan. I mean, they took her back. She was back off the pace with Beau Recall all the way in there. Just could not go with that horse when they both swung out for the stretch. I don't know. I was pretty disappointed with her last race. If she runs one of her good ones, she could easily beat this field. I just wonder if she's still capable.
The horse to catch is Newspaper of Record. Yes, she was beaten last time out by Beau Recall. She seemed comfortable. A lot of times she pulls, is very eager on the lead. She seemed very comfortable getting to the lead there. She was just run down at the very end. She's going to be tough to run down if they leave her alone, even for a little bit. The problem is a horse like Newspaper of Record really isn't going to be rated to a 49.5. She's just too fast for that. So it'll be interesting to see how fast she goes, but I'm expecting another good effort from her.
I'm sure she'll run well. In a lot of ways, it feels like, she is, I want to say, the most likely winner of the race, just because she's going to be on the lead. And she did run 2 fast races off the layoff at Belmont Park. I was just really disappointed with her last race, Dan, and it just makes me not want to take her in here as the favorite. Not that I'll be surprised when she wins.
Uni had a sensational season last year, winning the First Lady, beating boys in the Breeders' Cup Mile, and the question I think a lot of folks have is, can Uni run anymore? Is she another example of a mare that just hasn't come back as good? They ran her in the Just a Game off of a long layoff. She was third to Newspaper of Record and Beau Recall. If you want to say the layoff, fine, although Chad usually has them tight off the bench. Last time out in the 4-star Dave, yes, the course was wet. She's run well on wet turf in the past. She was far behind. She came widest into the stretch, and she just made no late impression in a race that was controlled on the front end.
Yeah, it wasn't a great setup for her last time, but you still thought that maybe she would put in some kind of a kick there, because that's what Uni did in every one of her starts last year, and she just didn't kick at all last time. Now, she never looked, to me anyway, I don't know if you agree with this, she never looked that comfortable to me in that race. She didn't break sharply. She really never looked like she was in the bridle for Jose Ortiz. So I just wonder if maybe there was something amiss there. I didn't think her Just a Game was terrible at all, Dan. She made a run into that race when Newspaper of Record sort of backed things down. She got very close, and then she just got out-kicked. But I thought all in all, she ran pretty well off the layoff. I sort of feel like if she rebounds here and runs one of her good races, she's going to beat this field. Although I realize that could be a tough position to take off that last race where she was not good.
20-1 on the number 6 Crystal Lake. Let's watch her last race for Mr. Lucas at Kentucky Downs, going 6.5 furlongs. A good effort by this daughter of distorted humor. She's just going to be denied by a neck. It's the second straight race in which she's lost a photo finish, albeit against weaker competition. Stretching out, you have to think she's going to show some speed, and I'm not sure if she's the one chasing Newspaper of Record early. I'm not sure that's the best setup in the world.
Yeah, I doubt that she could beat this field even with a perfect trip, and it doesn't seem like she can get a perfect trip in here.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 1 First Lady Stakes. I think we're taking a little bit of a leap of faith here that Uni can still run. I believe in Chad, and I believe in Uni. I've always been a fan of hers. The pace should be legitimate with her stablemate out there on the lead, and we'll see if she has anything left. We know she likes the Keeneland turf course. I want to give her one chance to show off that explosive run that she showed in this race and the Breeders' Cup Mile last year.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I settled as well. Personally, Dan, I don't want to bet anybody in this race. The rules are, for what we do here, is that I got to send in a pick and then top 4 numbers in the race. So I did it. I follow the rules, but I don't want to bet anybody in this race.
5142 for me, 5143 for Mike Beer, the rule follower. It's the Grade 1 First Lady Stakes. It's race number 8 at Keeneland. Approximate post time for the first leg of this 50-cent pick 4 is 4:51 Eastern. Best of luck.